Okay, so the topic that I am discussing today is part of the last topics, no, in your semestral. Once again, good morning. So we are here to discuss the last topic in your course, no, the void and inexistent contracts. All right. So before we go on, let me just introduce first myself to you. So I am Dean Maria Romana Dagyo, no, Dean of AB International Business College, Fairview Campus. So I am the assigned online learning coordinator for this subject, law on obligations and contracts. Okay, so as I said a while ago, our main discussion would be about void and inexistent contracts. Okay, so from the word itself, void, ibig sabihin, from the beginning, wala na nag-exist na contract because it is invalid. Okay? So kaya tinawag siyang inexistent contracts. Okay. So let's start. Okay. All right. So void and inexistent contract. So according to Article 4019, this seven mentioned items class, these are the classifications or types of contracts that can be considered void or inexistent. So bakit tinawag na inexistent and void? Because from the beginning, as if wala nang nag-exist na contract because the following are present. Okay, so number one, basahin ko uli. Those whose cause, di ba, ito yung three requisites class, if you can remember your lessons in prior weeks, no? The requisites of contract, we have we have three rather, the cause, the object, the purpose, no? Are contrary to law, ibig sabihin salungat, no? Hindi ayon sa batas, morals, good custom, public order, or public policy. So in Tagalog, we have sabi diyan, mga kontrata na ang dahilan, no? At layunin ay labag sa moral, mabuting pamantayan, pampublikong utos o pampublikong patakaran. Kaya tinawag siyang hindi valid or void. Alright? So, balik tayo sa number 2. Whose or those which are absolutely simulated or fictitious. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin niyan? Ito daw yung mga kontrata na walang dudang kunwarian or gawa-gawa lamang. So kung gawa-gawa lamang at kunwarian, then that contracts can be considered void or inexistent. Okay. Number 3, those whose cause or object did not exist at the time of transaction. So, meaning to say, eto yung mga kontrata daw sa number 3 na may dahilan at layunin na hindi umiral sa panahon ng transaction. So meaning to say, upon the execution of the contract, no, the cause and object are not present. So that is why it is called void contracts. But you have to remember, class, void contracts is different, no, from voidable contract. So later on, i-explain ko ano ba ang pinagkaiba ng void contract and voidable contract. So these things we are talking here are considered void contract. So maliwanag, clear tayo dyan, void contract, not voidable contract. Okay? Then number 4, so those whose object is outside the commerce of men. So meaning to say, ito yung mga kontrata na ang layunin ay labas sa komersyo ng sangkatauhan, sabi nga sa Tagalog. Okay, so later on we will have some examples on this for you to better understand these items. Okay, and then number 5, those which contemplate an impossible service. Ito daw yung mga kontrata na nagmumungkahi ng imposibleng gawain. Yung kumbaga, ang content ng contract ay napaka-imposible naman talagang mangyari or gawin ng contracting party. So, pwede nating sabihin na yung contract na yun ay void. Or from the very beginning, wala na nag-exist na contract kasi salungat siya dito sa mga items na to. And then number 6, those were the intention of the parties relative to the principal object of the contract cannot be ascertained. Okay? So, mga kontrata na kung saan ang intensyon ng bawat partido, ni A or ni B, tungkol sa pangunahing layunin nito ay hindi matiyak. So, ano bang reason natin why we entered into a contract? So, if our reason, no, if the purpose of the contract is not clear, no, so then that contract is considered as void. Okay? And then number 7, those expressly prohibited or declared void by law. So maliwanag ito class, no? Ito yung mga kontrata na hayagan. Ibig sabihin, obviously, ipinagbabawal talaga or dinideklarang walang bisa ng batas. So ito yung mga kontrata na masasabi natin na void, okay? Or inexistent, okay? Hindi nag-exist, okay? So, let us try to define inexistent
Yes po.
contracts, okay? Just
Yes
raise your
po.
hand pag medyo hindi nyo ako naririnig, okay? So, inexistent contracts refer to agreements which lack one or some of the elements, okay? May kulang man dito na isa, dalawa, or lahat, no, we can consider that contract as inexistent. So balik tayo dun class sa requisites, no, of contract. Pag sinabi mong requisites, ito yung mga elements na kailangan present in order for us to call it a valid contract. So what are those? Again, as I said a while ago, these are the consent, the object, and then the cause. Okay? What do you mean by consent? Maiba lang tayo, no? Balikan lang muna natin. Let's have a review of the previous lessons that you have, okay? So, what is consent? Meaning to say, ito yung pag-oo, no? Ito yung pag pag confirm ng dalawang partido na pumasok sa agreement or sa contract. Si A halimbawa or si B, gusto nilang magkaroon sila ng contract. So pag pumayag si A at pumayag din si B, no, we call that consent. Okay? Hindi po pwedeng isa lang ang pumayag. Okay? Pag hindi pumayag, walang consent na nangyari, then we call that contract as inexistent. So maliwanag dito, no? Which lack one or some or all of the elements. So kung isa man yan, dalawa or tatlo, lahat na nabanggit na ito ay hindi natin makita, nagkulang. So, inexistent contract. Okay? So, that is consent. Pag-confirm, pag-oo ng contracting parties. Ano naman yung object? Object, rather. Ano yung pinag-uusapan natin dito? Halimbawa, magbebenta ako ng bahay. So, ang object ko ay bahay. Okay? Yung pag-oo ko na ibenta at ang pag-oo nung bibili, na bibilhin niya yung bahay na yon, that is consent. Okay? Ano yung cost? No? Ano yung cost? Bakit tayo papasok into a contract? Ito yung selling. Okay? Yun ang cost natin. Pagbebenta. Okay? Consent, object, and then the cost. Okay? So, may question ba so far? Okay, so let's go to the next one. So example, isa-isahin natin class yung 7, okay? For you to better understand. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng mga items na to? Bakit tinawag na void contract? Okay, so let's have number 1. Okay, so ako na magbabasa class para mabilis tayo, no? So those whose cause, again, object or purpose is contrary to law or morals and good customs or po pwede ding public order or public policy. Okay, let's have an example of it one by one. Okay, so when it comes to contrary to law, ito yung example niya. Okay, an agreement whereby Anna, so ang person involved dito class is Anna, is to render service as a servant to Ben without compensation as long as Anna has not paid his debt in reprehensible and consurable. Okay, ibig sabihin, magbibigay ng serbisyo si Ana kay Ben na walang bayad kasi may utang pa siya kay Ben. So babayaran lamang siya ni Ben hanggat hindi pa I mean, babayaran siya ni Ben kung tapos na yung kasalukuyang utang niya kay Ben. So, which is contrary to law. Alam naman natin na pagka ang nagtatrabaho, no, ay kailangan may sahod. Okay? So, iba yung utang, iba yung yung sweldo, okay? So, hindi mo pwedeng panghawakan or pilitin magtrabaho sa iyo ang isang tao dahil may utang siya sa iyo. Kasi bakit? Pwede naman siyang gumawa ng ibang bagay para makapagbayad siya sa iyo. You don't need to force her or him, no, to work for you para lang mabayaran yung utang niya sa iyo. Para naninigurado ka ngayon. So, that is contrary to law. Okay, ano naman pag sinabing contrary to morals? Okay, so a contract, etong example class, a contract whereby Anna promised to live as the common law wife of Ben without the benefit of marriage in consideration of 50,000 is immoral and therefore void. Pinilit ni Ben, no, na maging live-in partner niya, common law wife si Ana. Pero hindi niya bibigyan ng benefit of marriage si Ana, no? Para lang dun sa utang ni Ana na 50. Alam mo, sinabi, oh, para quits na yung utang natin. Pumayag ka na ano, na makipag-live-in sa akin para ma-quits ko na yung 50,000. Mali yun. Contract is void. Why? That is contrary to morals. No? Magandang asal. Okay? Magandang gawa. Okay? So, clear class? Next, contrary to good custom. Okay, so Anna entered into a contract whereby Anna binds herself to slap his father. Slap, sampal. Okay? This contract is void because it is against good custom of showing respect to our parents. Halimbawa, sabihin ni Ben, o Ana, ikikwits ko sa'yo yung utang mo na 50,000. Basta, sampalin mo yung tatay mo. So, is it valid? No. Kasi that is contrary or against good custom. Ano ba ang good custom? Ito yung magandang kaugalian natin na yung pagpapakita ng respeto sa magulang, tapos sasampalin mo, yung purpose class nung contract hindi maganda kasi that is against good custom. Kaya tinatawag na inexistent contract. Okay, halimbawa, pinasok ni Ana yun para lang ma-quits yung 50,000. Okay? Pwede nating sabihin na yung kontrata na yun ay void. Bakit? Again, that is contrary to good customs. Okay, paano naman kung contrary to public order? Okay, so a stipulation in a contract of lease whereby the landlord can use force to eject the tenant, okay, in case of failure of the latter to pay the rent, agreed upon is void as being against public order. So, halimbawa, nangungupahan ka, okay? Nagbigay ng kontrata sa yung landlord mo, o pag hindi ka nakapagbayad, okay, papatalsikin kagad kita ha, bawal po yun. Okay? Alam naman natin na kailangan mong bigyan ng palugit, no? Bigyan ng extension kasi that is against public order. Okay? So sinasabi ng batas na kailangan magbigay ka ng palugit. Okay? So that is again contrary to public order. Okay, so let's go now to the next one. Okay? Contrary to public policy naman. So, a condition in a contract of sale states, in case of sale, the buyer shall not sell the others, rather sell to others the land sold, but only to the seller or to his heirs or successors for the same price of 5,600 when the latter shall not able to pay it. So, ganito lang, class. May bumili nung kaninang bahay na binibenta ko. Nag-draft ako ng contract. Okay, ikaw, B, na bumili nitong bahay ko, eto yung kontrata natin. Bibilin mo to, pero hindi mo to ipagbibili sa iba unless sa akin uli. Okay? At ang halaga ay kung magkano mo nabili sa akin. Bawal po yun. Kasi, bakit? The condition is contrary to public policy because it virtually amounts to a perpetual restriction on the right of ownership. Eh, may karapatan na siya. Si B, may karapatan na dun sa property na nabili niya. Who are you para mag-insist ng mga terms, no? Eh, hindi naman na ikaw may-ari. Sino na ang legal na may-ari, no? Ng bahay, yung nakabili. So, kung ano man yung kontrata na dinraft mo para mabili niya yon, void po yon. Kasi, the moment na nagbigay siya ng payment doon sa property mo, nabili na niya yon, siya na ang may-ari. And kung ano man ang gusto niyang gawin doon sa property niya, bahala na siya doon. Okay, so this particular example is contrary to public policy. All right. So next. So those which are absolutely simulated or fictitious rather. Okay, so ano ba ang ibig sabihin nun? Okay, gawa-gawa lang. Okay, so Anna is indebted to Ben. So upon learning that Ben is going to enforce her credit, Anna pretended to sell her land to Philemon, his father-in-law. So Anna did not receive a single centavo for the deed of sale she executed, and she continued in possession of the land as the contract was merely simulated or fictitious. Ano yung ibig sabihin? Ito, ang parties involved ay si Ben and Anna. Si Anna may utang kay Ben. Nung malaman niya na sisingilin na siya ni Ben, yung property niya, binenta niya kunwari. Kunwari doon sa father-in-law ni Ben na si Philemon. Oh, sabi ni Anna, palabasin natin na na binenta ko sa iyo yung property ko para wala nang habulin sa akin si Ben. Okay? So, yung pagbebenta na yon, no, between Anna and Ben's father-in-law, which is si Philemon, we can consider that contract as void. Bakit void? Gawa-gawa lang kasi, no? Hindi totoong nagkaroon ng deed of sale. Wala namang binayad si Philemon kay Anna. Okay? Kasi sinabihan lang siya ni Anna na kunwa-kunwarian lang yon para hindi siya singilin ni Ben or hindi hahatakin ni Ben yung kanyang property. So, there is no contract of sale in this case as the parties do not intend to bound at all. Okay? So, the sale is but a sham. Ibig sabihin, palabas lang. Okay? So, pagka ganun class ang purpose nyo in doing the contract, no? So, walang totoong purpose, then that contract is void. Okay? Number 3. Those whose cause or object did not exist at the time of the transaction. So example, Sandra sells to Ben a parcel of land. So in the deed of sale, 100,000 is stated as the price of the land. If this statement is false, then there is no contract of sale. So kung hindi totoo na 100,000 talaga ang halaga, no, or mas mababa or mas malaki talaga ang totoong amount, so yung contract na ginawa between Ben and Sandra ay can be considered as void. Kasi bakit? Hindi ka nagsasabi ng totoo. Merong mali doon sa contract. So therefore, that contract is void or inexistent. All right. So next, number 4. So those whose object is outside the commerce of men. Okay, so if the object is outside the commerce of man, such as sidewalks or public plazas or public bridges, they cannot be the object of contracts. Okay? Halimbawa, pinagbebenta mo yung, pwede mo ba ibenta yung tulay? Hindi naman sa'yo yun. O pwede mo ba ibenta yung plaza? No? So, pag may nagbenta sa inyo class ng plaza, hindi po niya pagmamay-ari yun. Pwera na lang kung yung bahay niya ay malawak, lupain niya ay malawak, at sa loob ng lupain na yun ay may sarili siyang private na plaza, po pwede yun. Pero kung public plazas, public bridges, hindi niya po pwedeng ibenta. Okay, clear yan ha? Yan yung number 4 natin. Okay, number 5. Those which contemplate an impossible service. Okay, example. If a blind man enters into a contract which requires the use of his eyesight, the contract is void, although in this particular case, we have only a relative impossibility. Okay, halimbawa, nakipagkontrata ka sa isang bulag. ang gusto mong kunin sa kanya ay ang serbisyo ay yung kanyang eyesight. Imposible yung bulag nga eh. 'Di ba? Hindi niya maibibigay ang hinihiling mo doon sa kontrata kasi from the very beginning, alam mo na incapacitated siya to give what you are asking for, which is his eyesight. Blind man eh. Bulag. Okay? So, that falls under number 5. Those which contemplate an impossible service. O kaya, example din yung driver. Gusto mo siyang kuning driver. Eh, imposible naman siya makapag-drive. Halimbawa, kasi physically handicapped siya. No? Hindi siya makapagmaneho. So, that falls under number 5. Okay. Next. 6. Those were the intention of the parties relative to principal object of the contract cannot be ascertained. Okay, example, Ana sold this land to Ben. Ana has many lands. Marami siyang lupain. So, hindi ngayon alam ni Ben kung alin doon sa mga lupain niya ang binenta sa kanya ni Ana. So, therefore, contract is void. So, kailangan, pagpasok mo pa lang sa contract, malinaw. Ano bang lupain yan? Ito ba yung located sa ganitong area? Ito yung lawak niya. So, lahat ng specifications class kailangan present. Okay? Kung hindi, that contract is void. Okay. 7. Those expressly prohibited or declared void by the law. Okay? So, umpisa pa lang, dinideclare na pinagbabawal ng batas. Ano ba yung mga example? Bawa. Oh, ano mo to, dali mo tong drugs, illegal drugs doon. 'Di ba may utang ka sa akin. So pag na-deliver mo to, i-quits ko na yung utang mo. Okay? Bawal po 'yun. Kasi that is against the law. Okay? So I think that ends our discussion for today. Inexistent contract. Meron na akong babalikan class, yung sinabi ko kanina na void and voidable contracts. Ano ba ang pinagkaiba? Etong pinag-aaralan natin kasi void contracts. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, umpisa pa lang, as if wala na nangyaring contract kasi yung mga requirements, prerequisites kanina sinabi ko, object, cause, and consent ay hindi present. Ano naman ang voidable contracts? Ito naman yung present. Ito yung present naman yung tatlo. Okay? Present po yung consent, present yung object, present yung purpose. Pero along the way, merong injury or economic damage na nangyari either doon sa parties kaya gusto niya ipawalang bisa. Okay? So ang void contract class, una pa lang, null na siya. Wala nang bisa. Samantalang ang voidable contracts, may bisa siya hanggat hindi pa siya napapawalang bisa. Ulitin ko, ang void contract, umpisa pa lang, no, wala na siyang bisa. Ang voidable contract, may bisa siya hanggat hindi pa siya na de-declare as void. Okay? Hindi pa siya napapawalang bisa. Okay? I have a question. Okay. Sa inyo it goes to everybody. Paano yung mga arranged marriage? Is it valid? Napaisip sila. Alam niyo yung arranged marriages? Yung hindi ikaw yung umoo, parents mo ang nagkaroon ng kasunduan sa parents nung mapapangasawa mo, magugulat ka na lang, ikakasal ka na, no? Is it valid? Yung kasal ba, valid yun? Saan siya magpo-fall? Void contract or voidable contract?
Sa voidable contract po.
Yes, sa voidable contract. Kasi the mere fact na, di ba pag kinakasal ka, ewan ko kung kinasal na kayo, no? Sa mga kinakasal kasi, pipirma ka dun sa sa certificate of marriage. So pag inaffix mo yung signature mo dun, so i-interpret ng statistics office yun na may consent ka. Okay? Pero, pwede mo siya ipawalang bisa. Kasi pwede mo siyang pwede mong ilaban na hindi naman ikaw yung talagang nag-arrange doon. Kaya lang mahihirapan kang mapatunayan syempre yun. Pero as to void contract ba siya or voidable contract, may visa po siya. Okay? So mahirap pumasok sa mga ganong klase ng kontrata kasi mahirap din lumabas. Ipawalang visa.